Hi, my name is Mrs. Overish, and I'm so glad you're here to learn with me today. We're going to be talking about force and motion today, specifically push and pull. We're going to read a couple pages out of our story today called Check It Out, Force and Motion by Clint Twist. This is a nonfiction book. That means it has real information inside. With a nonfiction book, we can open up and read whatever page we want to learn about. So I'm going to open it to the page called Pushing. A force is something that causes motion. Pushing is one kind of force. So this cat is pushing the wagon. She uses force to make the wagon move. So force equals motion. So we see our cat pushing the wagon forward. What do you think? When two cats push against the wagon, more force is used. So will two cats move the wagon more than one cat? Do we think that two cats would be able to move the wagon farther or faster than just one cat? I think so, because more force means more movement. Pulling. Pulling is another type of force. It's easy to pull something light. You do not need to use much force. This dog can easily pull one small rabbit. So on our last page, our cat was pushing something forward. On this page, our dog is pulling something forward. So our dog is able to pull something light. Something light means that's less force needed to pull. But what do we think? Is it harder to pull something that's heavy? So we have, now our wagon is full of rabbits. So will the dog use more force to pull many rabbits than he used to pull just one rabbit? Is he gonna have to work harder to move the wagon now that it has more rabbits in it? Yeah, he will. He's gonna have to use more force to pull the wagon forward. Today, we're gonna practice talking about different motions and different movements that are push and pull. Let's go ahead and get started. Today, we're gonna sort our objects into two forms of movement, push and pull. We just read in our story about both of them. Remember in our story, the cat was pushing the wagon. And in our story, the dog was pulling a wagon. So we noticed that when our dog was pulling something, it was behind him. And when our cat was pushing something, it was in front of her. We're gonna go through some pictures today and decide whether or not it's a push or a pull movement. Let's start with this picture right here. This is a picture of a TV. There's a small arrow pointing to one of the buttons on the TV. So this picture is turning on the TV. So if I click a button on the TV, am I pushing or pulling? What form of movement am I doing? That's right, I'm pushing. If I push the button on the TV, my movement is going forward. So I push, I move my finger forward to be able to push the button. So I'm gonna put our picture of our TV turning on the push side. Because when we turn on a TV, we push a button, whether it's on the TV or on a remote. We have this picture right here. This is a picture of a window and a curtain being moved back. If someone tells you to go open the curtains, are you doing a pushing movement or a pulling movement? Think about how your body moves when you are opening the curtains. Are you moving forward or backward when you open a curtain? Is this a push or a pull movement? Very good. This is a pull movement because I'm pulling the curtains back. I'm moving backwards. So that means I'm pulling something closer to me. So opening the curtains is a pull movement. What about closing a door? If I am standing at the door and I go to close the door, is that a push or a pull movement? If I want my door to close, that means I want my door to go farther away from me. Am I pushing the door closed or am I pulling the door closed? That's right, I will push my door closed. What if this picture, though, was of a door that needed to be opened? Is that a push or a pull movement? If I want to open the door, am I bringing the door closer to me or making it go farther away? When I open the door, that's a pull movement, but closing our door is a push movement. When the object goes farther away, it's a push. When it comes closer, it's a pull. Right here we have a picture of an iPad and we're clicking the home button. When we click the home button on our iPad, is that a push or a pull? Maybe we click a home button on a phone. Are we pushing something or pulling it? Is the button going farther away or closer to me? That's right, it's a push movement because it's going farther away. Right here, we have a picture of a coin being spun. When you spin a coin, is that a push or a pull? When I spin a coin, think about the way your hands are moving and what is happening to the object when you move it. Are we pushing it or pulling it when we spin a coin? That's right, this is a push because we're pushing the object to get it to move. We have this picture of two people playing tug of war. They're both holding on to the rope and you want to get the rope closer to you. So is this a push or a pull? When you play tug of war, are you pushing on the rope or pulling on the rope? That's right, you're pulling on the rope. When you have the motion of tug of war, you're pulling the object closer to you. So this is a pull. The last one we have is opening a jar. This one's a little bit trickier. So let's see, is this a push or a pull? Think about what the movement is when we take the lid off. When we untwist the lid, is that a push or a pull? Am I pushing the lid to move or pulling the lid to move? That's right, when I twist the jar, I'm using a push movement. But when I take the lid off of the jar, I'm using a pull movement because I'm pulling the lid away from the jar. So opening a jar uses both push and pull. Can you think of something else that also uses both the push movement and the pull movement? Once you think of that, can you go tell an adult and explain to them what you've learned today about these two forms of movement? When we push something and when we pull something. Nice job. Today we talked about different forms of motion, and two of those forms are push and pull. We learned different ways that we pull things and different ways that we push things, all while talking about force and motion. My name is Mrs. Overish, and I'm so glad you came to learn with me today.